Hi, this is Anu, and you're watching Anu for Nurses. This channel is created to share educational videos for nurses preparing for government exams in India and other nursing licensure exams abroad. I hope all of you are doing well and safe and healthy too. I wish you are not affected by the COVID 19 issues. And remember, this too will pass, and use this opportunity to prepare yourself for the upcoming examinations. Today we are going to discuss about the vital points from the endocrine system that usually comes for your nursing officer exam. Remember, determination, perseverance and hard working are the key to success. Never give up. When you're giving up, you're actually giving opportunity for someone else to take up your space. Don't do that. Don't let yourself down. Keep motivated and keep learning. So what is endocrine system? When we remember about endocrine system, the thing that comes to our mind first is it's a system of ductless glands that produces hormone. So these hormones can be considered to be like chemical substances that helps to maintain the homeostasis, or it has got various functions in your body. And out of these ductless glands, the major one that is in your head that regulates everything, that means you can consider it as the main switchboard, and that is your hypothalamus. That's not the only function of hypothalamus, it is one of the functions of hypothalamus. And after the hypothalamus, what is it next important? And that is your pituitary gland. After the pituitary gland, then where the function starts, it will be stimulating the target glands to produce its own hormones that we will see one by one later. So remember the sequence, it's a hypothalamus, pituitary and then the target glands. There are various glands in our body, right? The thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, then there is pineal gland or the pancreas, adrenal glands and the gonads such as testes and ovaries. Thymus is no more considered to be a gland under endocrine system, but still we can discuss about thymus too. And parathyroid gland, remember, it is functioning in response to the negative feedback of blood level of calcium. It's not directly related to your hypothalamus. And that's all about an introduction about the endocrine system. Let's see the thing one by one of the topic. First is hypothalamus. What are the major functions of hypothalamus? It controls or regulates the various functions like the behavioral functions and endocrine and other functions we can say in general. So what all behaviors the hypothalamus controlling? Your rage and fighting. Rage means your anger, fighting, your fear, your sex drive. These are the various behaviors, or you can say it emotions, that's controlled by your hypothalamus. And it also has endocrine and other functions. An endocrine function, mainly it's controlling the pituitary glands, right? What are the other functions? The cardiovascular function or the autonomic functions, you can say controlling the heart rate and BP. And it also has the regulation of body temperature function. Then it also controls, or you can call it the hunger and thirst center. Also, it regulates the sleep wakeful needs of the person. Already mentioned pituitary functions or the endocrine function, and also uterine contractility and milk ejection is being controlled by this. These are the various functions of hypothalamus: the cardiovascular function, your body temperature regulation, hunger and thirst, sleep wakeful needs, and the pituitary functions, uterine contractility and milk ejections. Along with that, remember the emotional functions too. These are in generally the functions of hypothalamus. And then what are the hormones released by this hypothalamus? The major hormones that's produced by the hypothalamus are ADH and oxytocin. At least some of you will have a doubt, isn't it produced by the posterior pituitary? Remember, posterior pituitary only stores these hormones. The production is from hypothalamus. So antidiuretic hormone, what do you call it, vasopressin or ADH and oxytocin is produced by your hypothalamus. Then the other hormones are thyrotropin releasing hormone. This one stimulating your anterior pituitary to release TSH, and then it's acting on your thyroid gland. Then the corticotropin releasing hormone, that will be stimulating the anterior pituitary to produce ACTH. That helps in the production of the hormones by the adrenal glands. Then the growth hormone, regulating hormone, that also you can understand, it regulates the growth hormones. And the next, somatostatin, the statin related to checking. So if only growth hormone is produced by your anterior pituitary, what happens is you will only grow. It's an infinite growth. So something has to check your growth. This is the somatostatin. And it also has dopamine, and you can call it a happy hormone. Your general well-being, happiness is affected by dopamine. Also, it acts in opposite to prolactin. You must have heard about when a mother is having an stillbirth or IUD and she's having milk secretions. To stop the milk secretion, we used to give in the clinically, when you check, we can see bromocriptine and cabergoline are the usual drugs what we are prescribing for them. This is actually increasing the dopamine levels, and that helps to suppress the prolactin, and thereby milk secretions will come down. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, that's produced by the hypothalamus, that's act on the pituitary to produce LH and FSH. You know that luteinizing hormone is important in the production of estrogen and progesterone by your ovaries and testosterone by the testes. That's the main function of gonadotropin. And FSH or follicular stimulating hormone also has major role in the reproductive function, that mainly helps in the Graafian follicle maturation, the beginning of the menstrual cycle and all. So these are the hormones produced by your hypothalamus. That's ADH and oxytocin, thyrotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, growth hormone regulating hormone, somatostatin, dopamine, and gonadotropin releasing hormone. You must have heard about another somatostatin, that's the delta cells of pancreas producing a somatostatin. That somatostatin is actually working in opposite to the hormones produced by the pancreas itself, that's insulin and glucagon. So this somatostatin is acting against the growth hormone. That somatostatin is different. So these are in short about the hormones produced by this. Now we shall see what is the master gland in your body. Master gland is, yes, it is the pituitary gland. So where is your master gland or pituitary is situated? It is situated in the depression, saddle-shaped depression of a bat-shaped or a butterfly-shaped bone of your body. That's called, yes, that is the sphenoid bone. Or the sphenoid bone, there is a depression called hypophyseal fossa, or it's also known as sella turcica. This is the seat of pituitary gland, and that's the reason why when you do the surgical removal of pituitary, we call it as for hypophysectomy. So remember these terms: sphenoid bone, that's a bat-shaped bone, there your pituitary gland is situated, and remember its seat at the hypophyseal fossa or sella turcica. And what are the hormones produced by your pituitary? And what are the portions of pituitary? It's mainly anterior, intermediate, and posterior lobes. And you can see the anterior portion of pituitary is producing what all hormones? That's mainly the direct hormones, what we can call growth hormone and prolactin, and the indirect, it's TSH, FSH, LH, and ACTH. So growth hormone and prolactin hormone, why I said like direct hormones is because it has got direct functions. The growth hormone will be acting over the liver and other tissues. It's helping for the growth of your body. And prolactin, you know that it's major hormone that's involved in the secretions of milk. And TSH acts on the thyroid to release its hormones, and follicular stimulating hormone in the reproductive function, luteinizing hormone also act on your gonads, and ACTH or adrenocorticotropic hormones act on the adrenal glands to produce its hormones, mainly the adrenal cortex. And the intermediate part of pituitary is producing MSH, that's a melanocyte stimulating hormone. You know that the pigments of your skin, the melanin, its synthesis is mainly stimulated by this. Then you have got the posterior lobe, and it's storing ADH and oxytocin. I repeat, it's storing ADH and oxytocin, not producing it. This is the various hormones produced and stored by pituitary. So the anterior, intermediate, and posterior. Now, we have already said that TSH, the target gland, is thyroid, and ACTH acting on the adrenal gland, mainly the adrenal cortex, and LH over your gonads. And the growth hormone, it's also known as somatotropin, that act over the liver and other tissues of your body for the growth. And the point important to be remembered is the posterior pituitary, that is only storing and it is never producing hormone. Then the gonads, we already mentioned, that's mainly producing, your ovaries producing estrogen and progesterone, also inhibin, that acts in opposite to your follicular stimulating hormone. It inhibits FSH. And in the male gonads, there is Leydig cells that is producing testosterone. This is to be remembered. This many times this question has come about Leydig cells that's producing testosterone. In your body, which part of your body is known as third eye? That is a gland. I'll give you one more clue. It produces melatonin, maintaining the circadian rhythm, and this is functioning in response to your optic nerve. That means based on the light and dark. In the night and daytime, this light comes or dark comes, your optic nerve senses that, based on that the secretion comes. That's how the circadian rhythm is maintained. That's how you know when to sleep, or you feel sleepy, you feel dizzy and all. Yes, that's a gland called pineal gland. This is known as third eye. The main function is circadian rhythm maintaining, and by the production of the hormone called melatonin. This is functioning in response to your optic nerve. And thymus, I already mentioned, it's no more considered to be part of endocrine system. Previously it was part of endocrine system, but this is also important from examination point of view. The location of thymus gland is in the mediastinum, just behind the sternum, and it produces thymosin. This thymosin is involved in the production of T lymphocytes, and these T lymphocytes will be providing cell-mediated immunity to our body, and it also assists in B cells development that helps in the production of antibodies. You can see this thymus gland in the mediastinal space of our chest. Before moving into the disease condition, we shall wind up today by asking a few questions. The only endocrine gland that can store its hormones for a long period is, I hope you know, it's thyroid gland. The other glands just produce in response to the stimulating hormones by the pituitary, but this thyroid produces and stores the hormones. When TSH stimulates this, it only releases the hormone. That's the difference. The gland that only stores the hormones, not secreting it, is your posterior pituitary. Cabergoline and bromocriptine used to control which hormone? Yes, it's prolactin. Remember, opposite to prolactin is dopamine. Very good. And the gland that is located on sella turcica of the sphenoid bone is? Yes, it's the pituitary gland. Stay tuned, keep studying, and let's see again with another video. Always remember, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Thanks for watching. See you again with another interesting video. Till then, bye.